Hello, folks, and welcome to today's town hall. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to wherever you are joining us from. As always, you are joining our bi-weekly town hall, and we are live streaming and recording today's session. So, if you get disconnected at any point, you can head on over to our YouTube page. That is at youtube.com/at hospitable. We're going to kick things off with some company and product updates before we move on to some Q&A from the audience. As always, if you do have any questions throughout the session, please try to keep them in the Q&A section. You should find it at the bottom of your screen. If you type your questions in there, it's a little easier for us to keep track versus typing them in a chat. So without further ado, we're going to briefly bring up our usual disclaimer, and then I'm going to hand it over to Pierre to take things away. PC.
Thank you, Miles. And we're going to need to pay a little bit more attention to that disclaimer in future times. Hello, everybody, and thank you for joining on this town hall. So first, I want to start indeed with an update on our host token. This was, as you know, the subject of the last town hall on September 17th, and we've been pretty humbled by the response from our community. At this point in time, as of today, we can announce that we have now raised an extra $300,000 into what I'm going to call our community float. That brings the total investment by the community to very close to $1.7 million. And I know, as a matter of fact, that this number is not going to stay fixated to that number yet. So I want to say thank you to everybody that has participated in this fundraising campaign so far. This is not the end, this continues. Now that campaign represents something exotic, something quite special, as we have decided to open our company to our customers and teams so that we can become a community-owned property management software. And that is a very different thing than the private equity-led atmosphere that is currently playing out in the industry. As we announced even 2 weeks ago, there is one other property management software company that has again been acquired by a private equity fund, while at the same time, we're aiming to be the last major property management software that is independent and sovereign on its roadmap. The thing that I also wanted to point, especially from the last wave of investments, is that this is a great opportunity for a diverse cap table. I'm not going to go political, but nonetheless, what feels great to me is that we have people from all walks of life that are having a chance to invest into a software and a company that they actually use, the products. So you don't have to have a family office to be investing into Hospitable. As you can see for those numbers, the average investment is $16,000, which is a very meaningful check size in my book. But the median investment is just at $5,000. So that means 50% of people that are investing invest $5,000 or less. Now, talking about who our investors are, I wanted to basically compose this pie chart to show the relationship between Hospitable and the investors that for transactions that have occurred in September. And as you can see, the team, the employees of Hospitable represent actually the largest, the majority, I want to say largest group among the dollar invested. So that basically is a representation of the dollar amount, not the investors themselves. And that is also closely connected with the friends and families, which, to be clear, are the friends and families of the team members. I asked my mom to be investing. She doesn't want to do that. If you're wondering why we're doing this, let it be this. It's skin in the game. One of the particularly interesting traits of the last few weeks has been the engineer in charge of the development of upsells that by coincidence is actually going to be demoing something for you today, has been putting $75,000 into Hospitable himself on top of the token that is already vesting. In my book, that's some insane skin in the game into making us successful with also a view to build long-term sustainable value for our business. That is something that has happened several times over. And I think it's a way for everyone to see the insane level of commitment and passion that our team is having for building Hospitable every day. And as you can see in red, you have the institutional investments and investors. The increased number of investments over the month of September has also meant that the value of the host token, which is a de facto tokenized stock, has meaningfully increased. So if you want to invest now, the market price for the host token is set at $941, which is 14% higher than the price at the start of September. In turn, that has also increased the company valuation under the rolling safe instrument by 12 million to reach $53 million. If you've been on the fence, this is still a great time to be investing. I'm going to follow up on that just in a moment. But for everybody wondering, what are we going to do with the extra cash? It's not exactly something that we have been forecasting, and in a way, it's kind of a meaningful tip jar that we have. So whenever there is the money, we can decide how to allocate, but we otherwise cannot know for sure. So the investment is always going to go into three directions. The first one is continuing to invest into the development of our product. That's the best way to be serving our customers and to acquire more market share into this industry. And we want to have a product that is highly differentiated. The reasons why you want to use Hospitable and you keep using Hospitable is because it's an easy to use product that is able to solve more of your problems every day. The second avenue is to continue to invest into our customer support. This, because the money is coming from our customers, it's basically is very easy to do. And that's already something that we're doing as a business. But there are some initiatives, some recruitment that we are able to speed up as a direct consequence of that fundraising. And the third part is the default one for every company, which is to invest into our growth with sales and marketing initiatives. Now, those are initiatives that we're going to do anyway, but that basically is able to speed them up, maybe have a little bit of a bigger spend than we normally would have anticipated, but we want to be cautious and still remain bootstrapped. It's not going to be a growth at all cost company. In practice, what it means, maybe some more liberty in paying upfront for a bigger invoice against a greater discount. That's recruiting one extra senior customer advocate, and that may be spending a bit more than we would otherwise feel comfortable to do on an extra campaign to be testing the waters. But the most important thing for us and for myself is simply challenging the way things are done in this industry, presenting private equity as absolutely inevitable and the only way you can create a great business, and simply opening our cap table to our community at large. It's one of those things that create great stories, and those stories are going to be told maybe later, but they're going to be incredibly powerful for all of us. Now, there is one thing that I didn't do really well last time, 2 weeks ago, which is actually doing the sale. So what is the step-by-step guide on investing? So the first step is that we actually have a mini product for it, which is our investor portal, which you can access on invest.hospitable.com. It's actually it helps with a particularly important step, which is to verify whether you are allowed to be investing into the company. If you are not a US resident, you have to go to a KYC, so taking a picture of your phone, etc. And there is in the background AML check, which basically means, are you an individual that has some kind of public record somewhere? That means there needs to be some kind of an approval from my side to authorize you to invest. So for example, if you're Vladimir Putin, that will basically be flagged very easily. Sorry, he's not interested. And I'm glad it is not. US resident, you will have to provide an accredited investor verification letter. That is a bit of a mouthful. That is a letter that it needs to be current. It needs to be issued in the previous 90 days. It needs to be coming from a qualified professional. Generally, that is going to be a CPA, that may be an investment advisor, that can be a broker dealer. There is a certain list of qualified professionals that can issue that. It cannot be, for example, a representation from your bank saying that you have more than $1 million in assets. That will not work. It cannot be your tax returns. It needs to be a qualified professional that is reviewing the information, and they will definitely be asking for that information about your bank statement or your tax returns. If you do not have a timely accredited investor verification letter yet, my best recommendation is to go to accredited.am. Yes, that extension may be a bit exotic, but nonetheless, it's the one service that I think is very good at issuing those letters very promptly, very often same day. And I think it's also the one that's doing it for the cheapest price, which is $30. There is no difference in the letters that is issued by a $30 service and one that is issued by a $59 service. So that basically is my best trick to get that. Now, if you are a qualified investor, which reverts to basically this accredited investor status for residents in the US, then you go back to the investor portal and you start a flow where you just have to decide how much money you want to invest. The minimum is at $2,500. I think there is a maximum, but please, that's probably a case where you want to talk to me anyway, if you think that there is a maximum amount. Start at 2,500. I will not discuss basically what amount you want to invest. It basically is a number you have to look for yourself. But from there, you are able to sign the contract that is available publicly on the investor portal and invest.hospitable.com. So you can download the copy and review that documentation on your own time. You then are presented, once this contract is signed on your side, you then are presented with bank detail information so that you can execute the funding of your investment by a bank transfer for US or for non-US residents. We have different bank details. You can also, as of, I think, last week, reopen the funding via USDC, so you can fund in stable coins as well. And so that once this is the case, then I can execute the investment. I can reconcile the funding with the investment that you have signed. And that means then that determines basically the price when those tokens, that you get access to those tokens. One last thing, they are backed by popular demand. I'm talking, of course, about the investor updates. So I've been sharing that on the community.hospitable.com special group that Petra is managing right now. This is also because it's the 1st of October. So we're going to have a sequence of those publications that basically across the entire month to educate simply and explain why we are a great business, maybe the things that don't go so well. Petra, you're the community manager and you're basically running those on the Hospitable community.
Hi, everyone. So we launched community group that is for hospitable investors. Initially, we wanted to launch it after the last town hall, but as it was mid-month, we decided to wait until October 1st and actually have a first update ready there for you. So if you are investor and you have been in the community already, you should have a badge and you should have the invite to join the group already. If I missed you somehow, you can head to the groups in community and request the access and I'm gonna let you in. We're also gonna be emailing you all to make sure that you have the correct links. What is gonna happen inside? We imagined 4 kind of updates. So first one that PC already showed is gonna be a snapshot of key numbers for the previous month. That's gonna be in the first week. Second week on the month is gonna be PC's take on the previous month. Then we will have a financial performance somewhere mid-month, and closer to the end of the month, we're gonna have spotlight piece from leadership. So it's gonna be talking about direction or something very interesting that's happening currently in the company. But to give you everyone the space to ask PC any kind of questions you might have about Hospitable, about hosting, about host token, he will be tomorrow in the community from 12 p.m. ET. It's our Ask Me Anything concept where you can ask him any kind of questions you might have. The conversation is already open, so you can head there and ask questions, and PC is going to be there tomorrow. He's going to be replying to those questions. And I just, for the last slide here, I added the link to Investors Handbook. So if you want to read more about what PC was talking about, and this is a good start point. Thank you.
Okay, Let's move on to product updates. We are going to hear today from dynamic pricing, connectivity, AI, Mogul, guest portal, and more. And we're going to start with operations. So, two town halls ago, if we rewind a bit, we talked about operations and this idea of the marketplace. Since then, we've been working on a few improvements to how you can use these new autopilot cleanings that we launched in that town hall. So, now, in addition to the task rules that we demoed in that town hall, you can also create single-use, one-off cleanings that run on autopilot. So we find the cleaners for you. These are perfect for when your current cleaning team is not available for whatever reason and they can't cover reservation. You can now go into your task calendar, for example, add a task, and we will find you an available cleaner. We'll show you how much it costs, and we will, get the job done for you when your team can't handle it. This is also a great way for you to dip your toe in the water on autopilot cleanings and try it before you're ready to commit to a full-on task rule. So that's available today, autopilot tasks and autopilot task rules. The next thing coming up that we should be releasing in the next few days, we obviously got a lot of feedback that people want to be able to select their cleaner, or at least select a preference. So we're going to be giving that option. As long as you have a property in an area where you've got enough depth of cleaners, you will be able to select basically the top 3 picks that you have to be your primary and your backups. And whenever you have a task, then we'll try and first assign that task to those cleaners if they're available. And then we'll move into the greater marketplace to find you a cleaner and make sure that that job gets done. After that, we've been working with our supply partner on these autopilot cleanings to secure a couple incentives to help you get started. These will be available to everyone, even if you've already started. If you've already done your first cleaning, we'll make sure that this gets applied automatically to you. So we're going to be able to give you $40 off your first cleaning, and we're going to be able to do your 8th cleaning free. So once you get started, you're kind of hooked on how it's working. We're going to reward you for that and give you that 8th cleaning job free. And after that, the team is going to move on to basically what we talked about in the town hall is taking all these learnings from working with a dedicated cleaner that has their own cleaning app, etc., and then bringing that a lot of that in-house. So you can manage your own cleaners like we do these autopilot cleanings. You'll be able to pay your own team, and you'll have all new kinds of visibility and capabilities with your operations team. That's a long roadmap, but we're gonna start executing that as soon as we get these kind of last things together for the autopilot cleanings. Okay, operations. Moving on, I'm gonna stay with you for one more segment here. We're gonna talk about dynamic pricing. So from the beginning, so we launched dynamic pricing, May this year. We've been listening to feedback on what controls are important to you, and we've added a lot of options since then. So since we launched, we've added the ability to add a custom base price. We've given you the control to say, okay, my weekend factor on our kind of what we would call our global model, the model we apply for everyone, isn't quite adjusting correctly. My weekends are double my weekdays. We let you do that now, right? We do the same thing for like local events and demand. The people that have home football games that see demand spikes 300-400%, you can set that today. We gave you controls for dynamic midnight stay that lets you set an ideal stay length. And then according to gaps in your reservations or as the lead time kind of collapses towards last minute bookings, we'll drop that midnight stay down. Those are all available to you today. And currently, just over 25% of you, the Host Pro and Mogul users, are using this dynamic pricing that we include at no extra charge. We recently added another setting. So just recently, we added the far future markup. So this allows you to basically tinker with the model on how we adjust pricing starting from 6 months and beyond. So at 6 months and beyond, there's not great market data generally. We don't see units getting booked out. We don't maybe detect some events at that level. And so we rely on a markup. Some of you told us, hey, I want to be able to set that. I have different, revenue strategies. I need to be able to mess with that. We allow you to do that today. So when you go into your advanced settings of dynamic pricing, you can now say, okay, at these markups, I want to do a different percentage. And if you do one more click, we'll show you what we're actually moving to is based on that feedback. You said, I actually want to be able to change those checkpoints as well. It's not 180 days for me, it's 120, or it's not 250, it's 280. We're going to do that next. So that should take another day or two. You'll be able to have even further control on the far future premium. So with all those changes, there are now some 8 different controls that you have on the model. And we actually have some pretty good capability to personalize our model for you. So Many of you using third-party dynamic pricing now, you have not been kind of who we've been targeting in this initial few months of launch. We've been kind of addressing the needs of people that don't have dynamic pricing or using smart pricing on Airbnb. Now we're going to go after you. You're the target now. So we know that you spent a lot of time configuring that tool that you're using. You tweaked it. You've got it just how you like it for a lot of you, some of you, not all of you. We think we can learn how you're using it. And this is a project we're calling AutoTune. And the idea is on mission for us, we like to gift you your time back. We don't want you to have to spend that time porting all those settings over, figuring out how it works in Hospitable. We're going to do that for you. So we're going to analyze how your pricing is working. We're going to detect what your min price is, what your custom base price is, how reactive you want events to be, what your seasonality looks like. We can analyze all of those things and configure it for you. So if you had an experience when we launched dynamic pricing in May and you said, okay, I'm using Price Labs or Beyond or Wheelhouse or whatever, and you said, this doesn't match my revenue strategy, we're going to be reaching out in the coming weeks and say, hey, give us another shot, go in, and we're going to tune the model for you to exactly how you like to run your revenue strategy. And we think we can do a pretty good job doing that. So that's going to be called AutoTune, and that's going to be coming out in the next few weeks. And with that, I'm going to pass to Marina to talk about connectivity.
Hello, everyone. I'm Marina, and I'm here today to share very exciting news from the connectivity team. So, we all know that on October 27th, Airbnb will be transitioning all the PMS connected hosts to the host only fee. And we also heard from you that you would like to stay as long as you can in the split fee. So, what we built is a tool to help you do that, so that on October 26th, which is the day right before Airbnb transitions, which is also a Sunday, you don't have to go there and be changing all your markups and making all the adjustments. That you can relax on that Sunday because we're going to do that for you. So this is how it's going to work. The tool is already live for everyone. We already calculated the markups for you in order so that your payout is not going to change from Airbnb. So we offset your markups to take that into account so that you can see your current markups and the markup that we suggest. And if you don't like it, it's okay. You can go there and you can change it. And you can confirm your changes. Once you do that, we're not going to update them on the same day. We're actually going to save those values. And then on October 26th, right before Airbnb is going to transition everyone, we're going to adjust your markup to the one that you set so that you can stay with your current prices as they are. They're going to stay competitive and your bookings are going to keep flowing. And on October 26th, we got you. And you're not going to lose any money because we're going to be adjusting your markups. So where can you find this? You can find it on the homepage. It's over there. It says Airbnb host only fee migration. You can click on it. You can review it. You can also find it. We really don't want you to miss it, so we put it everywhere. So you can find it on your property, close to where you added your markups, and also on settings. So there's a lot of places for you to go, review, and make sure that everything is going to work as you want it to. Next, I'm bringing you updates from listings management, which is something that a lot of you have been asking us to do. What does that mean? It means that everything that you set for your listing within Hospitable, we're going to be able to replicate and sync to every channel that you have. It means that you can completely edit your listings from Hospitable, from availability, prices, pictures, amenities, spaces, everything. And we also want to make sure that we keep it simple, that you can go and choose, for instance, one cleaning fee, and we will update it everywhere for you. But if it's important for your business that you can personalize per channel, we also want to make sure that you can do that. So we're going to be allowing you to personalize values on different channels. So that means for you that you don't need to do any more platform hopping to update values. You can do everything from Hospitable. And this is how you can help us make sure that it was really worth the wait. So if you scan this QR code, there's a form there for you to sign up for our private pilot, and we have limited spots. And what does that mean for you? It means that you're going to be one of the first users to actually try the new features that we're building. And we're really going to take your feedback into account to make sure that what we're building was really worth the wait. So we're starting with availability, prices, and cancellation policies, and there's more to come. So scan the QR code, fill it up your details, and we'll get in touch and get you to try our new listings management tool.
Thank you, Marina. Hello, everyone. Let's talk a little bit about AI auto reply. So as a reminder, auto reply is a Mogul feature that puts your inbox on autopilot using Hospitable's inbox AI technology. AI auto reply is meant to decrease the amount of time you spend in the inbox, but there are cases, often for entirely legitimate reasons, when auto reply does not respond. This means that you would need to keep a close eye on the inbox anyway to keep track of which messages need to be manually responded to, directly contradicting the purpose and value of this feature. So today, we've rolled out notifications for cases where auto reply should respond but cannot do so. This can be due to insufficient context, built-in restrictions, like discussing discounts and check-in times, or due to other issues. Speaking of which, the reason for the AI not responding is now also visible directly under each guest message. So we hope that both of these changes make your inbox management more efficient. And yeah, obviously let us know any other feedback that you have about AI auto reply. And if you want to try it out, it is available on the Mogul plan. And with that, I will pass it over to Tim.
Thanks, Nick. Hey, everyone. So starting out with a security deposit update. So one thing that you guys have said is that you want more flexibility when it comes to deciding which reservations should have a security deposit and then which should not. We've listened, we've made that possible to give you some more control there. So let's say that you know the guest personally, or they've got good reviews, and you don't feel that a deposit is necessary. You can now waive the deposit on a per reservation basis. So to do this, you would just head to the inbox thread for that reservation, click the remove deposit button, and then that will waive the deposit for that booking. This is now live for Airbnb and Booking.com reservations. We'll be rolling it out for direct bookings later this week. So if you've not enabled deposits before this point, you can go to properties, select the property you want, head to the pricing page, and then enable deposits and start collecting the deposits only when you need to. Next then, so some recent upsell improvements. So first, you can now require guests to leave a note when purchasing an upsell, and you can leave a prompt in that note field for them to provide more information. So for example, say you offer a welcome basket. You can configure that upsell to require a note asking if anyone has any allergies. That way, you then know all of the required information up front. You don't need to message back and forth after the upsell has already been purchased. And this will work as well for example, upsells that are based on, say, availability. You can ask them what their availability is in that note field. Next then, so you can now control the timing of when upsells become purchasable in the guest portal. Previously, early check-in, late checkout upsells would become available 14 days before the check-in and checkout date, respectively. We've heard from some of you that for some of you, that's too far in advance, and for others, that's not far in advance enough. So now you can configure the timing yourself within the upsell on when it becomes available for purchase in the guest portal. This gives you more control. It allows you to fit upsells into your workflow a little bit better, and it also means you can time them with your messaging rules. And then the final improvement. So upsell requests. So you can now configure any upsell to require approval before purchasing. Once that's been configured, you can approve or deny that request from the inbox. So again, for example, any upsells that depend on availability, something like mid-stay cleanings, early check-in, or even something that is inventory-based, like bike rentals, kayak rentals, you can request that that upsell need approval and then accept or deny based on that availability. And now Arye will take over to actually demo that process.
Hey, everybody. Let me just share my screen. All right. Hopefully everyone can see that. Yeah, let's have a look. So this is our beautiful guest portal. Just going to go ahead and start from the guest side of the experience. So if I head over to upgrade my stay and click on early check-in, then this is now an upsell that I have tagged in guest experience as requiring approval. So this notice will be shown to guests as they go through the guest portal. So I'm just going to go ahead and add early check-in there. I also want this welcome basket. This demonstrates the new note field that Tim was just talking about. And I'm going to go ahead and add a note there as well so that we can see what that looks like in the inbox in a moment. And finally, we've got a bike rental, right? So just now we have the early check-in. I kind of want to demonstrate that with the kind of approval process. This is a normal kind of custom upsell. And again, this banner shows up. I'm going to add this to the cart as well. So with that, let's get the cart overview. So each product that will require host approval has been marked so very clearly to, again, make it very clear to guests that this is still subject to approval after they check out. So I'm going to go ahead and click through, and then also one more time here, it will be displayed that this is pending host approval. However, the full amount will be, well, I'm going to say paid for upfront. What we actually do is do an authorization on the guest's card. We hold the full amount, and then we start taking partial captures as we, or as the host, sorry, approves or denies each of these products, right? So I'm going to go ahead and do this off screen because I don't want anyone to see the card details. Last time I demoed this, I think the bill was a little too high, and I used the company card. Now I have to use my own card. So I definitely don't want that to be shown anywhere. Just one moment. Need to remember my own address. Yes, that is my address. Okay. So I'm clicking pay, and I'll bring the screen back into view. Oh, I need to approve it with Revolut. Give me 1 second. Okay. Nice. All right. So I'll bring this back down. So yeah, basically directly after the credit card details are filled in, the guest gets confirmation, and an email, just as normal, is sent to the guest email address to kind of give them an overview of the purchased products. But now the products that are pending host approval will be marked as such in the email as well, just again to make it very clear that that those are still pending approval. And if I now have a look in the guest portal, there's this page here as well, where the purchased upgrades can be viewed. And again, we mark it very clearly that these are still pending host approval. Now, as Tim already mentioned, the host has 72 hours to approve these. A push notification is sent out, as always, as soon as an upsell or a series of upsells has been purchased, but reminders are also sent out 48 hours before the expiration and 24 hours before the expiration. Both a push notification and email reminder will be sent out. In the inbox now, if I just refresh, we should see our upsells. So as always, we get our activity in here. The sidebar has changed slightly. So the welcome basket didn't require approval. So that has been marked as purchased right away. And these two are pending requests. And also there's this card that while there are still pending requests, then this card will kind of remain in the in view until these have been actioned. Also, this button here, the view upsells details, is the same as this one here, and it opens up this new modal where you can actually get a full picture of the order that the guest purchased, including taxes. So these were actually some numbers that weren't easily findable before. Now the full amount that the guest paid can be viewed here. So that will also hopefully clear some things up in case, as you can see, some of the numbers don't quite match up after taxes have been applied. Here, as a host, you can actually see how long you have left. So I have 3 days, and that will count down as we get closer. I'm going to go ahead and click approve for the early check-in right away, and let's see what happens. So yeah, straight away, you can see this changes to processing. We're doing some stuff in the background, actually capturing that $1 plus tax to actually capture that amount. The welcome basket has already been captured. So basically, we're just doing partial captures along the way, and then anything that is denied or declined will be refunded to the guest. So I'm going to go ahead and decline this one here to show what that looks like. There we go. So just a simple strike through to indicate which products were declined. And you might have seen that the total actually changed, right? So this automatically gets updated. All the taxes that were a part of each of these items are all recalculated. And this is the final amount that the guest will see on their kind of banking app or just on their statement. Note that it can sometimes take kind of like 24 hours, maybe a little bit longer if it's over a weekend, for that number to be reflected correctly on the banking app. So yeah, just good to know that that can take a little bit of time. It really depends on the bank. Yeah, and also finally, let's double check if this finished. Yes, so because I approved that early check-in, the time, just as always with the early check-in, late checkout upsells, the actual check-in time was automatically updated, but that only happened after I hit approve. If you decline it, that won't happen, of course. Just double check that I've mentioned everything. Yeah, so with every action that was taken, with the approval or the decline, the guest will receive an email for each of those actions. With the decline, there'll be an additional note that the refund may take several days to show up on their payment method, so that that is also clear and those expectations are set. I also just wanted to head back to the guest portal here and refresh. So if they head back here, those states are also reflected here. So yeah, it's always up to date. As soon as those buttons are clicked, they can see that here as well. And that was under the purchased upgrades section down here. And then finally, how do you set this up? Well, it's actually super simple. Go to your upsells. If you already have an existing upsell, open it up. And all you do is check this box. And that unlocks this entire flow. Super simple. Yeah, let us know if there are any additional kind of features missing around the whole approval flow. We have a roadmap already. And I think Tim has something else to say to finish off. Thank you very much.
Awesome. Thanks, Arya. So yes, finally, if you've already been using upsell requests, or if you have some ideas based on what you've just seen. You can scan the QR code on the screen. There's a survey that will ask for any feedback you have, what your workflow looks like, and importantly, if you require a specific approver for your upsell as well. So just give it a second to give time to scan it. But that is all from me. Over to Abby, I believe, on direct.
Thanks, Tim. Just a quick update for direct. Today is the 1st, and so effective today, we have a few new taxes that we're going to take care of and remit for you if you are a direct premium customer. And so those are in Kentucky, we will now remit your state sales tax and your state transient room tax. In the state of Virginia, we will take care of your state and local sales tax. So all of your sales tax in Virginia, in Wisconsin, state and county sales tax, and then in Oklahoma, it's going to be state and local sales tax. So again, all of your sales tax in Oklahoma as well. We will continue to update here and in the community as we roll out and add additional states. Our goal is to turn this whole map pink so that we can take care of tax remittance for you in all 50 states. And we are about to also add local jurisdictions as well. So next month, expect to see some updates there. And that is it for direct. Next is Emily with Mogul.
Thanks, Abby. Hey, everybody. My internet just dropped and I'm tethering, so hopefully I can get through this one slide that I have. Okay, so the Mogul team has been heads down building the new owner payouts feature. Soon, managers who issue statements will be able to pay their owners through Hospitable. So for those of you who invoice, we are not forgetting about you. That is going to come next. We are going to dedicate our November 12th town hall to this topic. So if you're looking forward to this, mark your calendars. But before that day comes, there are a couple of things that you can go ahead and do today to ensure that you're prepared to take advantage of payouts. First, if you haven't already and you are on Mogul, go ahead and set up your management business. This is what's going to unlock owner portals for you, which will be where owners need to go to add their payout methods so that they can get paid. Just as a reminder, owner portals can be fully branded, live on your custom domain, and you can preview the portal from your owner's perspective before you ever invite them. So the QR code on the right will help you, or will take you to a collection of help articles that will guide you through that process. And I'm also going to post those links in the chat in addition to the feature request posts, which you should upvote so you can stay up to date on our progress with owner payouts and potentially be invited to participate in the private pilot in November. That's all from me. Off to Miles.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Emily. Executed flawlessly despite the ropey internet. Okay, so I have a few new app integrations that I want to share with you. So I'm just going to go through those now. So Vital Housing is one of the latest new integrators with us. So this is a platform for traveling healthcare professionals. They actually have the largest database of nurses and medical staff in the US. So this is perfect if you have a midterm rental near a hospital. Integrating with these folks obviously gets you in front of those traveling nurses, and integrating also obviously syncs your listings with your hospitable calendar, making it a lot easier to manage. So if you want to learn more about Vital, you can scan the QR code or go to that link. I'll take you to a help article on there. Next up, we have D-Travel. So D-Travel is an alternative, alternative for a direct booking website. You can use it to build a new website and sync your bookings with Hospitable. So again, feel free to scan the QR code and check out the link there if you'd like to learn more. And finally, before my voice completely goes, you can check out Market My STR. So Market My STR is a marketing platform designed for short-term rentals. You can use it to create direct booking pages, email and SMS campaigns, social media campaigns, and more. So again, scan the QR code, head to the link if you want to find out more. And a sip of water. And finally, from me, events. So again, we're going to have another town hall in 2 weeks' time. If you want to join that, please do scan the QR code to add it to your calendar. That event is going to be focused on some of our customer support improvements and also some of our usual product updates as well. And finally, last but not least, we have a final call out for our Las Vegas in-person workshop happening in 11 days. So please, if you are interested in this workshop, this is the final call to get involved. This event is basically going to be an opportunity for you to get some in-person training on how to best set up your account, everything from direct booking, short-term rental taxes, dynamic pricing, really the works. So please do scan that QR code. There is a code for $50 off there, HSPTB. If you use that, you get $50 off your ticket. We are not making a profit on this event. This is just to help us cover the costs of our team traveling there and covering the space for the day. So yeah, please check that out. I should also call out that this is just before the Vacation Rental Manager Association conference. So it's a perfect opportunity to go to both events. There's also a $100 off coupon there for the VRMA conference too. Okay, so without further ado, I'm going to leave up the usual links that we like to share before the end, and I'm going to invite anyone who would like to ask a question to come on stage to do so. We have about 12 minutes left to try and answer those. So if you would like to ask a question, you can go down to the bottom of your screen, see the react button, and in there you can raise your hand to come on stage. Looks like we already have a couple of folks raising their hand, so I'm going to start off with Anthony. Hello, Anthony. Welcoming you on stage. How are you doing?
Hey, Miles. How you guys doing? Can you hear me okay?
Yep, we can hear you.
Awesome. I'm super excited you guys put together, as I kind of figured you were, some of the Airbnb host fee gate updates. So that's awesome. Marina had responded in the Q&A in text version, and I just wanted to make sure I understood this, and any other host who's on here understands it as well. It seems like the ability of the tool that you've built out will update only the price of the rental per night, not the fees such as cleaning or management. So if we did not adjust those ourselves, we would be losing the 15.5% or whatever the math is on that if we did not update those, since those will now be also subject to the same 15.5% host fee. I just wanted to make sure I understood that that's what's going on with you guys, and there's no other updates where you will actually increase that as well, or it's 100% manual on us to do that part.
Yeah, I don't know if Marina can step in to provide that update herself.
Hello. Yes. So currently, the markups that we have, they only apply to the base fee. So what I recommend you to do is that you could increase your markups more if you want them to make up for the cleaning fee, or you can update your cleaning fee yourself. So we currently don't support it.
I think we can. Sorry, Anthony. I think we can do better. I think we can do better. We're just doing the job on the host-only fee. The host-only fee, so the markup now should apply to the cleaning fee, simply because there was also a change of the structure there. So we were justified not applying the markup to the cleaning fee before, but the host-only fee structure change means that we have to apply the markup on the cleaning fee. Otherwise, you end up with an inflated cleaning fee from Airbnb that will be inflated also on other platforms, which is not particularly fair. And we were not going to be having extra markups to basically cover for the cleaning fee. I think there is a cleaning fee. The customer is expecting to receive a certain amount. So we have to adjust the logic on our side so that the markup applies to the accommodation price and to the markup fee as well. And we have to also probably anticipate that there are going to be differences on the application, on the scope of the markup, that some is going to be just for the accommodation price and some is going to be for other fees as well. I think that was worked on just the beginning of this week. I didn't get the chance to basically participate in the team myself, but I think this is something that we can review and adjust. It's a 15%. We have the value. We can adjust it on the cleaning fee. Right now, what's particularly important for us and that's something that we have delivered right now, is basically that on October 27th, all of our customers are going to make the same payout. So with a pre-calculated number that's going to be optimizing for the same payout amount across the board. So we do not introduce any kind of competition that would be unwarranted on pricing. There's basically, you're still going to have the same payout no matter what. And I think we can adjust our logic to basically include the cleaning fee for Airbnb with that same markup, and maybe other fees that will be including with the scope of the host-only fee.
That's awesome, PC. I'm glad. I appreciate you stepping in and your commitment to that. And I just throw out cleaning.
I would want to check with the team though, because they're probably going to be yelling at me in 5 seconds. But I think the direction is there.
Yeah, no. I follow, and again, I definitely appreciate that. I mean, so cleaning, and I'll just throw out there, make sure you guys, management is the other fee that is a kind of separate line. Some people have no cleaning fee, and all of their costs of cleaning and management and anything else goes into that single management. So, would that be inclusive with what you're talking about here? So, basically the plan is not to have to do anything once we come to October 26th because of what Hospitable has been built out for us. Is that right?
So my idea is that basically you should be receiving the same payout for a booking made on October 28th as the one that you've been doing on October 26th.
Awesome.
And so that means that's the North Star. So everything that then will be, if the management fee will be imposed, the host-only fee on that, it's irrelevant. Basically, we just applied it on the portion of the subtotal that basically is just going to be applied. That doesn't make a lot of sense. So we'll have to apply the host-only fee on every line item that basically is going to be impacted by the host-only fee. Yes.
Wonderful. Thank you. That's really great.
Thank you for bringing it up, Anthony.
Yeah,
okay, so our team is going to work on it, and then we're going to give you further updates when that's also live so that you can check it yourself.
Thank you.
You guys rock. Thank you again.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Anthony. Okay, next up we have Tracy. Hello, Tracy. Do you have a question for us?
Yes, it's related to the changes as well. And I apologize, I'm a little confused about the timing of all this. So if we have bookings now that are for, say, next summer, then they're on Airbnb, then the customer or the booker pays less than after they book it October 27th. Like, I'm just really confused on the timing. We actually adjusted our rates already. My husband did, and I don't know if that was incorrect. So it's not really a software specific question, but I'm sure it probably affects many people on the call.
So that's a very good question, Tracy. So first of all, you could appreciate the inadequacy of providing support for another product that has its own communication channels. But the way I understand it is that so first of all, thank you for doing the movement right now on the host-only fee. That means that's also something that you can do and is going to be supported by that kind of change. So that whenever there is a host-only fee applied, then basically we'll apply the markup already. But if you're doing that synchronously, that's even better. That means you are not going to be part of the big batch of users that are going to be converted to the host-only fee on October 27th. So I don't think there is anything in terms of the guest paying less or the guest paying more. I think what I care about far more is basically whether you're getting paid the appropriate amount that you basically be expecting. If for the way I understand it, it's basically new bookings after October 27th will be applied the host-only fee. Reservation that have been secured prior that date, or prior the change to the host-only fee, will still be on the split fee structure. So that means there is going to be some lingering split fee onwards because there was at that point in time a particular agreement between Airbnb, the guest, and yourself about how this reservation fee is going to be structured, and you would not have otherwise the appropriate settings, fees, etc., to basically matching in response to the change of this pricing structure. I have no reason to believe that Airbnb will change that later down the road for existing confirmed reservation, because that may have an impact on your bottom line. That may have an impact on the price paid for by the. The idea is that it will not have any impact on the price paid for by the guest. The adjustment is what we care about is basically whether you're going to make the same money in the first place across both bookings.
Right, which of course we care about as well. But so basically, if we've been proactive and we have made the adjustment already on our end, then you will do nothing more. We will be like ignored from the bulk adjustment, and then we should just go in and double check that it's working.
Yeah. And to answer your question, you can check yourself on the reservation that you've secured prior to your change. And then after that change is made, to make sure that basically it reflects the appropriate pricing structure. For you, we are doing something, which is basically that as your markup is now configured in the host-only fee, that means we are applying that new markup to your prices onwards. And we'll apply it soon on the rest of the fees on top of your Airbnb base price.
Okay, thank you so much.
Very welcome, Tracy.
Awesome, thank you, Tracy. Okay, I think we're going to squeeze in one more at least. AJ, welcoming you on stage. Hello, AJ.
Hey guys, I have a question related to the Airbnb host only fee transition tool. Seems like this one is a popular one right now. It's pretty important. But I'm just curious. So as I'm looking at the tool, and I think this is a really great tool, it makes the transition seamless for all of the different properties that I have. I'm just curious so in the first column where I see, or I guess this is the second column, the markup now versus the third column where it's going to show the markup after the 26th. I see you guys have a recommendation of 18.34% markup. And from what I'm understanding is that the single fee transition for Airbnb, the structure is going to be, it says typically 14 to 16%. So just curious why you guys mark it up just a bit more, and how you get that number, the 18.34%, or does it vary per host? Just want to kind of clarify that piece.
Do you want me to take it? Yeah. Okay, cool. So we actually did the calculations, and so let's say that if we increase your price by 15.5%, when Airbnb takes 15.5% of that, that's not going to make your payout become the same. So we actually have to increase it by a little bit more. So we did two calculations. One of them is if you have 0 markups, and that's like one value. And then the other one is how much we're going to offset if you already have a markup. So we assume that you already understand that you're adding at least like a 3% markup to offset like Airbnb's current split fee. And we're adding on top of it what you need in order to make sure your payouts are going to be the same after the new fee changes. Yeah.
Yeah, basically Airbnb taking 15.5% of your subtotal, we need to increase more to basically ensure that you make the same money after Airbnb is taking the 15.5%. Just want to say there is a question in the chat that from a comment in the chat from Marilyn saying we're already paying 3%, the increase is only 12.5, increasing 15%, we need the same, etc. Which is a very good take. We've also observed that most hosts actually have a 0% markup on Airbnb. It's not the thing that we are recommending. We are recommending for 3%. So basically everything is judged relatively to Airbnb on your other booking channels. But now that's an opportunity to actually have an appropriate markup because it's actually becoming quite significant now across all the different channels. So basically that's going to mean you have 100, we need to have 18.34%, so that the 15.5 means you still get 100, and then having the applicable logic as well across your booking platforms.
Got it. Thank you for that. So it's basically safe to say that this recommendation will ensure that hosts receive the exact same payout due to this fee structure change. Is that correct?
That's
Okay.
the idea. Yes, that's what we're optimizing for. It's not the same subtotal. It's not the same price paid for by the guest. It's the same money that you are receiving from Airbnb net of all fees. And so that means we have to introduce a change of the percentage, but also maybe setting up a percentage in the first place, which is why it's not exactly going to be the same value for everybody. Some others may have, for example, 10% applicable already, in which case we need to calculate another number so that they make the same money as the expected, with the expected 10% markup net of fees. So it's actually the kind of thing of detail that basically we have to dive into whenever we're rolling out a change like this. We would love to just say, hey, it's this number for everybody. But no, that doesn't survive a test in production.
Got it. Okay, yeah, I'm really glad that I asked this question because what I was just going to do is just, go in and add the markup to what the Airbnb is moving it towards for the single fee, because I don't want to, mark up my prices to the guests for no reason. We just want to cover the new host fee. I don't want to charge my guests any additional fees, but if the recommended price is to ensure that we're not going to lose out on any money due to this fee structure change, then I also think this is a great tool. So I'm just going to go with your guys' recommendation.
Thank you. Thank you, AJ.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, AJ. I think that is all we have time for today. We are already over the 1 hour mark.
Okay, so that's the time when I have to do my summary of what we talked about. And trying to, yeah. So just one thing that because that happened in the chat. Let me be clear. We're not going to be having every tunnel is going to be talking, dedicating 15 minutes to talk about the host token. This is very much an event that is focused on the product updates and what we're doing to be changing this company. That also means that once in a while we're going to be talking about the effort that we're making on opening our equity to our customers and our company to our customers in the first place, because that sets us in a trajectory that's a little bit different, hopefully better for our customers than what the rest of the competition is going through. But yeah, we not want to go into the full spectrum of all the features that I've been releasing. You've seen a fantastic demo by Arye on a new feature that is upsell request. We're really looking forward for your feedback on what it would take to unblock you, on the ability to be processing more upsells of a custom types, and also the classic early check-in and late checkout, plus everything that comes into play. I know Arye and the team with Nikita, for example, have been spending a lot of time and effort on getting the experience and the payments part done right. Thank you so very much. I think 2 weeks from now, we are going to want to zoom in on how we are doing support. So Nuran, our director of support, will be having a presentation with you guys and reporting on the situation of customer support at Hospitable. It's one of the things where everybody has plenty of opinions, and I love working with Nuran because you always kind of go and scratch the surface and realize, it's actually not exactly the way I was anticipating it would work. Thank you so much for your attention, and see you.